Good evening, dear friends. And so before the start of the video, I want to express my huge gratitude. I think you also saw that there are almost 1 million subscribers, and before the new year, it's nice to see that you are trying to help. Subscribe from your accounts, fake accounts, grandmothers, grandfathers, cats, your dogs, neighbors, and at this rate, by the new year, there will soon be 1 million of us. Can you imagine how many of us there are? And so we got distracted by heartfelt conversations. But this does not prevent us from continuing our fascinating journey into the world of osteochondrosis, arthrosis, headaches, where we are getting deeper and deeper with you into our weekly tele-almanac. And finally reaching the bottom, we will push off with powerful strong legs, strengthened without crunching in the knees, and we will float towards the rays of the morning sun. And so, friends, today we will find out which muscle we need to stretch to forget about back pain forever and meet the new year. Not only with 1 million subscribers, we all hold hands together. We watch tuned antennas in front of YouTube receivers, gathered as a family as usual, and about something, eye muscle. Which one we will find out today to stretch so that the back never hurts, especially for the new year. You don't need something to hurt after the new year. A little bit, a couple of days, let it fall. You need to meet the new year healthy. And so the iliolumbar muscle, familiar to you not by hearsay, it consists of 2 muscles, as was established by the great scientist, a student of the great again Obu Ali and Bonsino. But with Kashidan we hit Dediv consists of 2 muscles, lumbar, here it is, and iliac, these 2 muscles. They sometimes work together, and sometimes they work separately. And when this muscle is shortened, the problem arises that it becomes difficult for the leg to go back. It's hard. It becomes difficult to work the gluteal muscles, shortening of the lumbar and iliac muscles. It interferes with the work of the gluteal muscles. The gluteal muscle, it can make movements at different angles. It can just move our leg back here, but it can a little at an angle here, under 45 degrees look. I will depict it especially for you, dear subscribers, of which there are almost 1 million, and at 45 degrees, when at 45 the middle gluteal muscles are also a little involved in the movement. And in the first case, when we just move our leg back, our lumbar muscle is stretched, and in the second, when the leg goes at 45 degrees here, the iliac muscle is stretched. These are the muscles, and it is precisely when the iliac muscle is shortened. The position of the pelvis often changes. When it is short, it tilts it, and on the side where our pelvis is short, it often goes back here because during movement, along with the leg, it starts to move like this. We take a step here, one back, because the leg cannot move separately from the pelvis, and when the lumbar muscle is shortened, in this case, our spine reacts. It bends in such an arc because the lumbar muscle pulls the spine to its side. Don't look. Yes. It would seem that here should be a short muscle, but this is how it turns out. Why so? We will find out when. So let's move on to the exercise right away or tell a little more something. Well, okay, let's look in general. Look, there are also spikes between these muscles here. It also hinders their work. What else does it do when it shortens, pain arises neither in it nor inside, because the muscle itself has no receptors. And when you will now do an exercise to stretch this muscle, you may not feel that it pulls. It will pull here, ahead from the hip, and it hurts not inside somewhere in the stomach, but the back hurts. The sacroiliac joint hurts. The sacroiliac joint hurts precisely when spikes form between the iliac and lumbar muscles. They cannot slide freely relative to each other and move, and the lumbar itself also hurts because the lumbar muscle itself also compresses and brings the intervertebral holes closer. They decrease, and it becomes difficult to move the intervertebral joint. And so, friends, now we will move directly to the exercise that was developed by the Kulyab Research Institute for the study of stretching the lumbar muscle in order to stretch it. We will first do a classic exercise known to everyone, but the fact is that when we perform it, only this lumbar part is stretched. It is also interested in the iliac with you. Why? Because we want to align the pelvis with you. We want it not to be skewed. We want to meet the new year and meet a joyful 100 million millions of subscribers who will be the millionth subscriber. It's interesting. I'll subscribe to myself last. And so in general, look, the lumbar muscle, the first option is easier. We stand near the wall. We need a wall for this specifically. We put our foot so that the toes are close to it. We put our hands on the wall, and now, with the foot that is behind us, we push off. And here is our task. Here are two bones we have here. They grow. This is called the anterior superior iliac, the anterior superior axis of the iliac bone. And immediately with these two bones, we strive here to the wall. We want to touch it. If you have a stomach, then it can touch the wall first, but at the same time do not be upset. Still strive slowly with these two bones to the wall. In this position, if you feel the tension of the muscle, it has stretched. Relaxed a little tension, felt a little relaxed. Keep the back leg straight, stretch this muscle and relaxed. Try from one side to the other. Very often it happens that this muscle is shortened only on one side. On the other, you will not feel tension. On the side where it is shorter, you do this exercise more. If at the same time you do not feel the tension, you will feel confident. You put your back leg back further and the front one already bends the knee. Use your hands again for support on the wall, and now with your knee you start to strive here to the wall. You try to move your knee closer to the wall like this. The back leg is again on your toe, and in this position too, you stretch the muscle, relaxed, stretched, relaxed. Make such movements 10 times on one leg and the other, and also do 2-3 approaches rest between them for 15-20 seconds. And if everything is good with you, then you can try. Now the most interesting exercise that you probably have not tried before, and if you have tried, then you did not appreciate how effective it is. This is stretching exactly the hip muscle. This part, before this exercise, you can even check whether your pelvis is symmetrical, how to check, look during the day. Have you noticed before? Does it happen that most often you stand in a position where one leg is in front of the other? Often the leg that is in front is exactly on the side where your pelvis is also in front. So we stand against the wall now sideways. The leg that turned out to be closer to the wall, we put it tightly to the wall. We put the second leg back at 45 degrees. But so that it would be convenient for you to put it. And now your task is to stretch your knee here to the wall. Someone who has it very short will already feel the tension even in this position. That is, you stretched your knee back. You can make a movement. You can hold onto the wall. You can hold on to a friend. For example, hold on to a friend if there are no friends nearby, and in order for them to appear, you need to subscribe, and you will have 1 million friends by the new year. So we stretch our knee. I do not force you to anything. If you do not feel the tension, then the next stage is you try to touch the wall with your pelvis. Right here, you touched it with your knee, and now remove your hand back so that it does not interfere with you and the pelvis right here, close to the wall, pull it straight. Right here. You might even feel more tension. Somewhere in this part, yes. But the iliac muscle is stretching. After this, while walking, you may notice that the step will be longer, but if you overdo it, you may feel that. It pulls you a little bit right here in the front part of the hip joint. This means you need to cool down a bit. do everything more carefully, then it will be good. Well, friends, we finally found out what we need to stretch. How to stretch it? Well, write likes, leave comments, do sports, help your parents. See you next time. Bye.